This is Mile High.
Do I want to tell the story or do I want to show the message?
You've got a lot of work to do between Mile High.
The time has come where we can know
we have a responsibility, an ethical and moral responsibility.
We have to do it better in order to move people along.
Up, down, inside out.
If you get your mind right, it is not. It is a receiver of thought. Because love is my first technique.
it's now time for the show.
Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Wherever you are listening or watching, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss any Mile High tick, whether it be on iTunes or Spotify or YouTube. You'll always want to be tuned into the Mile High Altitude, which is where you want to be in September 24th to 28th. Rise it to milehigh.com for Mile High 13. Don't let the 13 scare you. It is going to be even better. You don't want to skip to go to 14 like an elevator. Be there this year. And today's guests have been at Mile High for 11 years of Mile High. And they're going to be on stage this year. Dr. Amy Gunderson-Lewis and Tyler Lewis are the co-founders of Unbound, a thriving chiropractic practice in Dallas, Texas. For a decade, they've been practicing together and devoted to advancing the field of chiropractic, and especially focused on NetworkSpinal, and their work centers on nervous system reorganization and healing. So thrilled to have them on stage this year. I mean, they've risen up to 5,280 feet for 11 years in a row. So now they're just taking it 3 feet higher onto the stage. Thank you for being here with us, Dr. Tyler Lewis and Dr. Amy Gunderson-Lewis.
Awesome. Thank you for having us, Danny. We're so excited to be here.
So first of all, let's people get to know you a little bit. Can you briefly share how you found your way, let's say, to chiropractic first?
Wow. Okay, you want to start?
There's two of you, so
yeah,
two different trajectories for
twice
sure.
As efficient. My background is I was a biochemistry major in school with studying research with more of a pharmaceutical lens, and I was going to med school. That was my whole trajectory, and plantar fasciitis changed my life, and it wasn't mine. My mom started having plantar fasciitis. And at this point in my life, I started getting interested in more like natural medicine. I was really fascinated personally with the immune system. I thought the immune system was brilliant at its ability to keep us healthy and protect us and help rebuild us. And then she had this experience where she saw my life trajectory going one direction. She started having pain that interrupted her life in such a way that she decided to seek out a different form of care. There was a chiropractor down the road from her, and so she went and experienced it. Well, she had this really amazing experience. She thought it was interesting how the chiropractor talked about her nervous system, and he was like, "Hey, Tyler, I know you're interested in health. Come check this out." So I'm like, "Okay." I did, because honestly, at that point, my experience with chiropractic up to college was like this old broken down sign in the small town in Arkansas that was like falling apart and faded and had this weird bony fish thing. And it's like a skeleton it was a sacrum. I thought it was like a fish's mouth. And it just said chiropractic on it. That was it. That was my exposure. So obviously I was not very attracted to that as a field trajectory. But when she told me about, this experience that she had, I decided to go check it out. I walked into this guy's office and he was hosting a class about the nervous system. And I'm listening to this class, learning about the brain-body connection. And I was fascinated by that because it's like I'd heard about nerves, but I didn't understand what the nervous system was. Long story short, I decided to, get an exam with this guy. He assessed my spine. I was in so much pain, but I didn't even know it. And then my first adjustment was like fireworks. Like the lights came on. It was like seeing Jesus. It was like this amazing experience. And I'm like, if everybody could feel this good, the world would be different. I have to do this. And
right.
He was from Parker. And so then, my life shifted, and, that led me to go to Parker. And, soon into, chiropractic school is when, I found that there are many different perspectives on chiropractic. I didn't know that. because my experience from that first adjustment to working in a chiropractic office to actually going to school was that, there's an innate intelligence that's animating our bodies and lives, and chiropractic is in service to that. And then I get into school and it's like, where to go? And fortunately, I was connected to some really amazing mentors and had the ability to actually remember why I was there in the first place. Not to get too far ahead, but then obviously that led to a pretty amazing future trajectory where I got to connect to Amy and another type of chiropractic office, but I'll let her cover her background before I go much further with that.
Yeah.
So Amy, how'd you find your way to chiropractic?
So I started doing massage right out of high school while I was going through college, and I was really into body work and healing from the perspective that I knew healing was, definitely in service to people. But I worked for chiropractors for years before I actually really understood what chiropractic was. The last chiropractor I worked for took me to Parker seminars. And I remember the moment when Dr. Sigafus got up on the stage and was speaking, and he told this story about this mom who had a newborn baby, and in the middle of the night, the baby stopped breathing and turned blue, and he was the first person that she called. Well, they showed up to his office, and with an adjustment, how not only did the color and life return to the baby, but the healing that happened simultaneously for the mom. And there was something just came online, whoa, healing so much more than I ever thought it was, and I have to do that. And so I signed up for school immediately, moved my life from Washington to Dallas to go to Parker because that's the seminars I was at, and I had to go to that school. And from then on, it's just revealing over and over again why, whether I chose chiropractic, it chose me. There was an agreement at some point that was revealing itself. Definitely a broader, more magical, more adventurous experience of what healing truly is. And so it opened
Wow, so awesome. Now that brings me to the first question I want to ask you about broader, more magical experience of what practicing is, because you practice as a couple. How long have you been at your office now at this point?
So almost 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years. So what's it like practicing chiropractic as a couple?
Honestly, I don't understand how people could not. I mean, it is the most amazing, well-integrated thing. It's just life. Chiropractic is life. There's a whole philosophy behind chiropractic, and it isn't limited to the technique. It's just a life approach. And so to be able to be here with my wife, my soul partner, and live in such a way that we get to experience in the office what we're experiencing at home, what we're experiencing in life, and helping that express at a higher level. It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to experience the wins, the challenges, and be able to meet all of it together, and to be able to really understand each other, to be able to support each other. I mean, our everything, our victories, our challenges, everything is together. And we absolutely love that. And honestly, I couldn't see it being another way.
Yeah, I think that brings something really special to practice, having the shared vision, because it's not just about practice, but it's about life, but then also the intimacy. There's so much support and nuance that happens that I think is really special to being a couple practicing together. But also we have associates as well. So I think just having a group practice in general adds that dynamic, but then having that extra level of coherence together makes a big difference.
Excellent, excellent. So what are some things that you've learned in practice that you didn't expect to learn?
Oh my gosh. I think that there was a lot that were concepts that became reality, and reality was much different than concept. Biggest one is that you're healing alongside with your practice. And so your practice heals you just as much as it helps other people heal. And you're doing it simultaneously as a team. And so, yeah, in order to serve people and help lead them, you have to embody what you're visioning for them. And so life gives you those opportunities. And I think that was one of the hardest, but most gratifying parts of concept that became reality. And also the business aspect, oh yeah, this is a business. So this isn't just about the art of chiropractic and passion. This has to have structures, and it has to be repeatable, and it has to be organized. And so, I think that the stretch of bandwidth was definitely more than I could have ever imagined. And I think that's really a lot of things that are worthy pursuing in life, because if you knew, you probably wouldn't do it. So it's like that mystery that just reveals itself.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Did you want to add something to that, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I was just following that up 100%. There's like no aspect of life that's separate. They're all so intricately connected. Our business itself, Unbound is its own living entity. It has needs, it needs support. And like Amy said, it's a reflection of our health, our support, our leadership. It's a reflection, and it's like, I feel like it's like having a child in some aspect, where you see things pop up in practice that are popping up in our own lives, and the beauty of that is like, yeah, it can serve as a mirror in a lot of ways, but really that mirror is an amazing opportunity to help foster our own healing, growth, evolution, where all of a sudden, as we're rising and meeting challenges at greater opportunities for leadership, like all of a sudden that becomes so abundantly available for everyone in the practice. And then everyone up levels together. It's the most beautiful thing that's just repeated over and over and over again.
You probably have the same question because, as you know, Rochelle and I coordinate,
Yes.
we run our office together too. We practice as a couple as well. And people say this to both of us all the time that are not chiropractors. Okay. They say, I don't know how you guys work together. I would kill my husband or my wife. There's no way I could do it. Like, I hear that all the time. Do you get that? Do people say things like that to you at times?
Absolutely, all the time.
And
Yes.
I'm like, I'm like, it's the best thing ever, So I don't know what it would be like practicing with a spouse that was an attorney or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I would be. I don't know. This is just such a great life. It's how your whole life is intertwined. I tell Rochelle how grateful I am about that all the time. So, people that get concerned about that, don't hesitate to marry a chiropractor. It gets
Right, exactly.
If you're a chiropractor, I wouldn't say that don't let that worry you. It's a good thing. So now you've been to Mile High 11 years in a row. What can you say? And we have pictures to prove it. What can you say about your experience attending Mile High?
And by the way, Danny, I can't say thank you enough for the time and dedication, energy, and life that you've put into Mile High. Yeah. It's our lives would not be what they are had you not done that. For sure. Mile High is such a it's such a beautiful gift to chiropractic and to the world, Danny. So thank you. We talk chiropractic, and chiropractic has really had a major identity crisis. There's been so many challenges that chiropractic has had to face and rise and meet, and it's just been chiropractic has a messy history. Because if we forget the philosophy, if we forget the why, and if we forget that we're not alone, then it's really easy to abandon the vision of what chiropractic was always meant for. And you have organized such a beautiful space with amazing leaders who really are beacons for the light in that vision. And to the reason why we've been 11 years straight, even in Mile High 2020, where we were all sitting scattered across tables all over the room,
that was crazy.
It was still to be there and know hey, we are all showing up for each other, and remembering why we get to serve and what that is really all for. There's nothing more refreshing and soul enriching than that. And so, yes, this reminder every year of what we're really in service to.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And that's why I put it together, and Rochelle and I put it together. So yes. Did you want to say any experience about that with Amy, with having your team attend Mile High?
Oh my gosh, it's such a gift. It's so amazing because you have all of these people that are so passionate and so in service to the vision and the philosophy and the art and all aspects of chiropractic. It's like the team gets it. That's a place where they just get immersed in it. And then their coherence when they come back home, it shifts everything in the office. We have had employees, we had an employee that came to Mile High and then she ended up moving, and she told us, I'm going to come to Mile High every year, even though I'm not working for a chiropractic office anymore. I want to be there. And she's, not a chiropractor, has no desire to be one, but she just loves it. And so it's a gift for everyone. People can feel again, it's about life and it pertains to everyone.
Are you struggling with a website that doesn't reflect the heart of your chiropractic practice? Well, here at Cherry Picked Webco, we craft stunning, high-converting websites exclusively for chiropractors so that you can attract more of your dream patients. Show up professionally online and finally feel proud to share your site. From strategy to launch, we handle it all, so you can focus on changing lives. Let us make your website your #1 marketing asset. Visit cherrypickedwebco.com to book your free audit today.
Well, and again, that's the environment we wanted to create, and we're so glad to have you guys on stage. Have you thought yet about what you're going to be sharing on stage?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
It has really.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah. So, okay, it's evolving because as the days go by, more reveals itself, but ultimately it's talking about leadership, and it's not so much about what you do, but who you are when you're doing it. And so it's really talking about your field leads and what embodied leadership looks like. And so that's going to be the theme, but we're going to talk a lot about the triune of life. We're going to talk, we have some things we're putting together that surrounds that.
It has a life of its own at this point. It's like, what can we do to bring our gifts as a couple and who we are in 20 minutes, to be able to get real concise. And we're really excited though, because really it has to do, like, for example, like what I was mentioning with Mile High, like there's a field that exists at Mile High in that space. There's a richness that the only way to experience is to be there, to not just like watch the videos, which is amazing still, but like when you're in the room, there is something that is viscerally palpable that you feel like, wow, there is a field here. And there's no way to conceptualize what that might be like. You can think about jumping in the water, your entire life, and you can write dissertations about it, but until you actually jump in the freaking water, you know nothing about it. And then you get to have that rich experience. And it's just like, there is this incredible field that is there that, like she said, when our team goes, it's like, oh my God, it's like everything that we have been saying or they've been experiencing, like it clicks on like a whole new level. But really, when we're talking about leadership, that's what it's also about. It's because we all hold a field. We all embody that at some level. And like, that is the gift that we emanate and share whenever we're with our practice members, when we're with our family, when we're with our team. Like, that is what actually creates the impact. All the stuff that we do, that's just strategy.
Right.
The field is what dictates the outcomes.
Right. So I'll tell you, this is something that I hear all the time, which is that what you said, that when people, a field that's created, that's what your practice, like when we talk in practice, like it was so hard to get people to start care, so hard for people to do a plan of care or do a monthly installment. And like, it was hard to do initially, but then it becomes a field that just is how this field is created in the office, the systems that are there, that's how the practice runs. Right. And it's all like that. With Mile High, I will tell you, I hear over and over again, and I didn't expect this. I didn't necessarily know everything of what was going to come to fruition or what I would create. But people tell me all the time, there's something about being in the room. There's something being with that group that just feels different. The energy of the people is different. I hear that all the time. And like they're like, I can't put my finger on it, but I kind of know a little bit more than that of why that is. But it's special. It's special, and people do that. They create that in their office, and they don't necessarily realize that when everything's coherent in their office, that then creates. But when it's not coherent or it's all over the place, it doesn't create the same field in terms of the office. So I'm glad that's something that you guys will be diving into to some degree. Now, you practice NetworkSpinal. Can you share anything about what a gift it's been to be able to introduce and go? I don't know, honestly. I'm sorry to not know this. If NetworkSpinal is why you went to school, you learned network along the way. Can you say anything about that or transitioning to NetworkSpinal?
Yeah. And so NetworkSpinal is something that we both found in the middle of school. It's not, I can say it's not the reason I went to school, but it was the reason why. Because the minute that we connected, it was like, oh, this is why. But man, it's such a gift, talking about coherence in the practice. When I first had exposure to network spinal care and like that lights on experience that Tyler had with his first adjustment, that was my first experience of that, a breath that went on for years and months. It was like this huge expansive feeling where my nervous system, I didn't realize how much pain I was in. I didn't realize how much survival state I was in until I got my first breath wave from a network spinal analysis entrainment. And my thought in school was, wow, how am I ever going to explain this to people? How are they going to get it? And so it was like, what do I do when it comes to practice? But I have no other option because I've had my experience and this is it. Like I can't unknow this. And, in practice, the more we got coherent with exactly what was happening through our own experience and what we know to be true and our passion, people just got it instantly. They just get it because the field was so coherent around it. I know there was more to your question, but that's
but do you want to add to it, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I found functional neurology month 1 of chiropractic school. And so for 2.5 years, that was my focus. Working in clinics, and I was very involved. I was like vice president or president at one point of that club and organizing a lot of the seminars. And I was learning a lot. It was amazing learning about the brain, learning about the nervous system connection, learning about how that organizes our experience. And it was just really amazing. I think what makes it so powerful in so many ways isn't just like being able to understand the dynamics, but there's so many perspectives that you have to hold while being able to understand what's really playing out in the brain as it relates to the body. Do you want to say that?
No.
Okay. And as I'm going through this experience, learning a lot, very like mentally engaged here, I started having some experience with some of the leadership or the field of that just didn't resonate with the type of however I wanted to move forward in my career. Okay. Well, we had this mutual friend, Amy and I, by the way, Amy and I like barely spoke. We started in school at the exact same trimester, January 2013. And we were in school and spoke maybe 5 times throughout those 2.5 years until a mutual friend brought us into this NetworkSpinal analysis office. And I remember like just at this point, like being like, you know what, I'm just going to take a leap. This person says it's this really weird thing where they touch you and you move and adjust yourself. And okay, whatever. It's really not a great explanation, but at this point I was like, whatever, let's go experience it. And so yeah, we walk into this office and like people are like doing all these things on the table. And I'm just like, BS, like whatever. And then I get on the table and that same thing, that first contact, it's like, it was even more dramatic than my first adjustment. And like that breath, that awareness, walking outside and seeing colors and smells and being in my sensory experience, I like realized I don't know shit. Here I thought like I knew so much with all of my study. And then I had this experience and it like erased everything that I thought I knew, yet I had a rich experience. And anyways, yeah, it was like really the defining moment where like everything shifted was Amy started going to, in this process, we started dating. After getting involved with NetworkSpinal in this office, we started dating. And then she started going to seminars. Well, I wasn't involved in seminars, but I decided to sneak into one. I snuck into a seminar at the West End. And as we're walking into the building, Amy's like, oh, see that guy right there walking in? Yeah, that's the guy who created this technique. That's Donnie. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like, we're walking up and we go to walk past him and he stops us. And he like stops. He's like, hey, are you guys here for the seminar? And we said, yes. And he just walks up, he gives us this hug. And he says, I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for being here and a part of this. That transmission, whatever happened in that moment, said, this is the field that I want to be a part of. And I right there was a full commit to starting that, full commit to the NetworkSpinal journey. And so it's been like that ever since. But that whole transmission was, there was a field contact that was made. And it was that experience of whatever that was that I couldn't think about or understand, but it was felt, it was experienced that radically shifted the trajectory of my life.
Yes. Yes. Isn't it amazing when things like that happen in life in general? It's amazing how things can change the trajectory of your life, and then realize that when you're taking care of people,
yes,
chiropractic in your office, that you're doing it with the intention to not get rid of something they don't like, but to change the trajectory of their life. That's why I show up at the office, is that somehow this person's life's going to change its trajectory. And I get the privilege of being part of that, you know? So let me ask you, you've got 10 years of practice. Wait, how many years of practice?
Yeah, 10.
10 years of practice. And I got confused there because 11 years of Mile High, and so I came in student.
Became a student. Yeah.
So 10 years of practice, right? Going to chiropractic school, is there anything in particular, and one by one here, that you would like chiropractors to know from you? Like anything you want to share with chiropractors, particularly today?
Chiropractors going through school
or anybody, chiropractors, docs. Yep.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think that the biggest thing is that being a part of a community is essential, like really being involved in the field of chiropractic and having the support of your peers and knowing that we're all doing this together, because that's been essential for us going through practice and our lives and really making an impact, like having a huge support system, but also doing it coherently with others that hold the same vision.
Great. What about you, Tyler? Anything particular that's a message you want to give to chiropractors?
I realized in the stories that I was sharing, there were these impactful moments that changed the trajectory of my life, and these rich moments of connection between me and a chiropractor who saw something and acknowledged it and made that point of contact. And it radically shifted the trajectory of my life, whether it was that first adjustment that I received, the network entrainment that I received, or the hug from Donnie that I received. In that moment, if one of those people were not present with me and I was just a symptom or a pain they were trying to make go away, then maybe I would have just flown right by that opportunity. But in that rich moment, where whatever that interaction was, it woke something up in me, and life said, I'm going to express through this system in this way that's going to impact so much more. We have the power. It's amazing as chiropractors, we're in this position, realizing that we're in service to, that there's an aspect of healing that takes place which allows us to really stabilize at a high level of beingness, but it's also evolutionary. From like both a horizontal and vertical lens here, like we're right there at that intersection between health, healing, stability at higher orders of function, and growth and evolution. And it's like when we bring that presence, we are able to achieve both. And that's what we really get to be in service to. So yes, the community aspect, and yes, the rich divine moment. Like you have no idea what that interaction, that point of contact is going to have in terms of what it can lead to in someone's life.
Right.
Wow. Excellent. And so one more thing, let's take this a step further. What about Tyler, students? One thing you want to share for students?
Oh man. Get out and go meet people, honestly, meet different people from different techniques, experience. Like being a student, you're a sponge for all the different types of experiences and information, because when you get out of student mode and you graduate, your focus is going to shift. You will find that calling as you begin to experience the different techniques, different people, but there's no way to think about it. You just have to go be there and have that visceral experience for yourself. And then you will know what you're being called towards, or you'll think you do until it changes. But regardless, it was still that call towards your ultimate destiny. So don't get so caught up in your head. Go experience chiropractic in all of its different forms and let it call to you.
Excellent. Excellent. Now I'm going to ask you the same question, Amy. Anything that's a message you'd like to share with students?
Yeah, I would say definitely find mentors, like follow around as many chiropractors that embody what you are looking to embody and serve in a way that you feel called to serve. Because, as a student, like Tyler said, one, you get the opportunity to just be a sponge and immerse yourself in taking bits and pieces of wisdom from everyone around you at every moment, and then decide what you're going to do with it when you graduate. But it's like that you have the time and you have the space, and chiropractors really want to serve students. They really want to give, they really want to share their wisdom and gifts. And so seize that.
That's important. I'll tell you, I'm glad you mentioned that way. At Mile High, there's a lot of students that come, and there's a lot of doctors. The doctors that are there want to support students. They want to welcome you in. They want to, hug you, appreciate you, know that you're the future of chiropractic, and lift you up and make you feel safe and like there's a great career that you're moving into. So just realize about that, students, about the doctors that are at Mile High, and that's how they feel about you. And this is a great space for you to get connected to chiropractic in a way that most likely you did not in school. So just to really realize that, and that's a community you're visiting when you're there. And docs, if you're listening to this and you're planning to be at Mile High, be that for students, because students are going to school. They have very little exposure to actual chiropractic while they're paying for this education. And this is a resource, you're a resource for them if you're attending, and be there for them. So, and I know that's how you guys look at that. I know when you were students and you attended Mile High, as a student, how was that experience for you as a student?
Oh my gosh, I felt so supported. Every doc felt open, welcoming, and wanted to share wisdom with us. Like, I felt super held in that field. It was amazing.
Right. And that's what we want, the space we're creating. So I really want to thank you all for attending Mile High for 11 years, for being friends, for being on this podcast, and for rising up to the stages here. I'm super excited to have you both there. It's going to be super thrilling.
Thank you so much, Danny. Yes, so excited.
So we'll see you there. Again, if you haven't gotten your seat, stop procrastinating. Nobody likes a procrastinator.
Now.
Rise up to milehigh.com. You want to be there. Don't sit on the sidelines, okay? And we'll see everybody in September. Rise up to milehigh.com. Keep changing spines, lives, and minds with chiropractic.
Awesome. See you all there.